Welcome to the Matt Beck Podcast. Woke up this way. He's got a lot of cool stuff he's gonna show you today. The latest news, industry topics, and business tips. For all hairstylists and salon owners, it's time to flip the script. Grab your precision scissors, barber combs, and swivel twist razors. Let's cut a bob, a quick shag, pixie cut with a little bit of flavor. Check out the live classes, product reviews, let's rock on. Don't forget to check out freesaloneducation.com. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way.
Oh, let me get that. There we go. What's up, guys? Super excited for today's show. I have a special guest, like we talked about last week. I see all of you guys logging in. Kristen, what's up? Lynn, good to see all of you guys. Familiar names in the chat already. So get logged in, start sharing, hit the share button on whatever platform you're watching this show on. Today, I have a good friend from the show circuit, Keon the Barber. Keon Washington, guys.
How you doing?
What's up,
How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good.
So, Keon is actually going to be doing some barbering techniques today. He's got a live guy in the chair, so this is pretty exciting. So he's got to wear a mask, of course, right?
Oh, yes.
We'll talk about that a little bit. But so why don't you take it away? Everybody, if you guys don't follow Keon, make sure you go follow him. I'm going to throw his stats or his Instagram name up on the screen as well. But I'm going to let him kind of take it away. It's going to be his class for you. Is your camera vertical right now? I forgot to.
It is vertical. I need to turn it horizontal.
Yeah, if you can turn it horizontal, and then that way, let me see if it'll change.
Let me change my screen orientation.
Okay.
And I believe, is that better now?
You're still.
1 second. Let me go ahead and get this. It's going to be a little flippy moment.
Okay.
There we go. All right. And how about now?
There it is. Perfect. Sorry about that. I should have said that in the first place. All right, dude, you're live. Take away the show. I'm going to throw the questions up in the chat as we go, but this is your class, so have fun with it.
All right. So good afternoon, morning, everybody. It depends on where you're tuning in from. If you're on the West Coast, it's still morning. If you're on the East Coast, it's afternoon. If you're in between, you're in the twilight zone. We understand. Today, we're going to have a good, fun class in here. Thanks, Matt Beck, for having me. Free Salon Education is platform and page I've been following for a long time. I've sung you your praises in person, but I again want to say it so everybody sees me saying it. Like I literally hail Matt as one of the greatest educators of all time. So with that being said, I'm going to try to make Matt do Matt some justice and make everybody proud. So welcome to my space. This is my creative space. This is where all of the magic happens. And today we got a great cut planned for you all. One of my favorite clients, he gets a ball fade and he has a link on the top where we just do some textured faux hawk or whatever style he wants to do at the time. He can do get a multitude of styles out of one cut. So with that being said, the introduction, I'm Keon Washington, also known as Keon the Barber. I am the barber for Cosmoprof Beauty. I've been cutting hair now for 18 years. I've been licensed for less, but I am like fully immersed in this industry and I want to be one of the best educators that I can be and that is out there because I want to see the preservation of this industry continue on long past the time that I'm at and anybody else is gone. So without further ado, let me get this buttoned up. We're going to get it started. I feel like I'm headed to the beach right now with my pineapple shirt.
Yeah, people people are already loving it. So
already loving it. All right. So yes. How's it going? It's going great. So I'm going to be, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera around. I'm going to give you a little bit of a quick little 5-minute walkthrough of my tools, the what's, like a real like speedy lesson on clippers and the tools that barbers use or specifically myself. And then I will dive right into the haircut. So let's go ahead and turn this around. And let me make sure I can turn my screen around on this. There we go. Well, that's just a selfie. Let me see. Do you double tap to turn this around or can it? Is it possible?
Let me see. Maybe you can't.
Oh, I might can't. Okay, so
maybe you can't.
Well, let me see. I'll be right. Let me see if I can do it this way. Yep, I can turn it around from. No, I don't think I can. So I'll just turn it this way then. Sorry, everybody.
That's the quality is actually pretty good. So
all right.
Yeah, I think you're good.
All right, so let me go ahead and walk y'all through a couple things real quick. These are my shears. Of course, I'm a little bit fancier or extra than usual. So I have all my shears hanging on this nice little bullet push pins. From end to start, this is my smallest shear. It is a Hanzo. This was the first shear that I ever owned in this collection of shears. This Hanzo is really, really small. This is a good finisher. This is Jacob Kahn's fancy shears, which you had Jacob Kahn on the last time, right, Matt?
Yeah. Yep.
Jacob Kahn was the last feature. So this is Jacob Kahn's fancy shear. This is like one of my favorites, the JK60. And this is actually an older model of it, not one of the newer, more updated ones. But this is the JK60, one of his first ones. So, and this is like a really good go-to shear for all around cutting. This is, where is my wiper? So this is my dry cutter right here. And most of my shears are made by Kenchi because that is just a preferred brand of mine. This is the dry cutter. Everybody who cuts already knows that using a dry cutter, that thick blade on the end has a good amount of weight. So when you're cutting, it helps you push down. This right here is the shapeshifter. Now, usually I do not like swivel shears, and a lot of people tend to not like swivel shears. However, this one right here I like because it's called the shapeshifter, and what it does is when you take this notch, you can slide it up or down to according to your finger size. So if you have a big finger, big hand or small hands, then you can adjust that and then lock it back into place to help you cut better. So this has literally become one of my favorite go-to shears everyday users. This right here is a texturizer from Kenchi. I like this one. And Matt, of course, Matt, you would definitely be able to break these shears down better to people in this community because you use these for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, this right here, I like this because the basin of it. These have like 13 teeth and they curve. So they have this circle at the bottom. So whenever you, let me see right here. Whenever you cut the hair, it feeds the hair into this big deep groove at the bottom, and it only takes small select pieces. So you can go in there and legitimately create like that beachy wave effect at the end of a cut without doing so much heavy texturizing. If you're going at an angle, it'll push the hair in, and it'll literally allow you to slide out of the hair to do like some slide cutting techniques. I also learned to use those from Matt Beck. Trust me. I'm talking like I made this stuff up, but Matt has literally shown me so much. Matt, I'm literally like using so much from you.
It's hilarious, man. You are super. So this is one thing I want to say about you. So there's a lot of like when I would do the Cosmoprof circuit, I would poke my head in very few classes just because I'm busy or whatever and I'm going back and forth, right? But I always paid attention to yours. I would always get at least 15 minutes of you because the way that you break things down is just so good. So so go ahead. No props to me, man. You've got your thing. You've been educated as long as I have.
You didn't come here for props, but you're going to get more props in the movie set from me. Like, legitimately, I follow your videos,
Thanks,
and
man.
I'm like, the reason I like why I educate and how I educate is because I want it to be understandable to people. And legitimately, there are not many educators that I watch who break down every little thing because every little thing matters. Yeah. You know, if I'm cutting, I'm going to tell somebody, you should feel a little tension right here inside of this area of your hand. And when you're cutting, if you don't feel that tension, then you're not doing this right. Like that stuff is important. It's not just, hey, cut right here. How are you cutting right there? Right. So this is like one of my everyday go-tos as well. It's just a Kenchi 6-inch. This is like an all-around cutter. Really, really good for cutting. Barbers tend to like longer shears. So this right here is a Kenchi 7-inch. So the cool thing about barbering is sometimes we have cuts that we tend to just fly through that are just your average run-of-the-mill haircuts. So you can go ahead and make like a section from the back and or your guideline from the back, traveling guide, and just from back to front or front to back, make long slices across the top, really quick passes in like less than a couple minutes, and then come back and just use some point cutting to texturize, and then some texturizing techniques, and then be done with the haircut in less than 3-4 minutes. So using a longer shear, you can make a longer cut as opposed to making smaller cuts and having to be more precise when these cuts don't need that much precision. When you have a cut that requires a lot of precision, then you're going to want to go in there and use a smaller shear. And then, of course, this is my texturizer, the HH8 Mizuru from Hanzo, 40 teeth. This is like the first texturizer I owned from Hanzo, the only one, but the first texturizer I owned in my collection up here again. And these are really, really good for texturizing. All right, so that's the quick run of my shears. Also, this is an 8-inch. It's just extra because I'm extra. These I fully picked up from Matt's videos, and let me tell y'all, I love these. Matt, of course, Matt, you're familiar with these. The Donald Scott carving combs, people, these things have changed my game and my life. Literally, like watching your videos, a lot of things that I picked up back in the day were like the Mercado products and these product right here, these tools. Yep. These carving combs, the 50% side and the 100% side. I actually feel kind of silly talking about these on here with you because you know everything about them. I'm telling the guy, it's like me telling, a tiger about Frosted Flakes. He's like, duh.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate the plug because look, Shop FSC if you want to get
Listen,
those.
Shop
go get
FSC.
Yeah.
Like this right here, and we also sell these at Cosmoprof now too.
Oh, nice.
So I love these because this one right here is what barbers tend to lean more towards. Now, of course, this one has the comb on it, so whenever you're doing the hair, you can comb through the hair and all that stuff. But as a stylist and barber, a lot of times you're used to the comb being in your hand, so you can also sub it out and use this one because of that swivel. Barbers love this swivel end, and we can get in there and use that 50% side and that 100% side to do our cutting. So I love Matt. Shameless plug all day because this changed my life.
Hey, appreciate that.
It changed my life more than pineapple pizza, and pineapple pizza did a lot for me.
You got to be careful with that. People, death threats on that one.
No, listen, people have literally I've gotten personal messages after sharing pineapple pizza, and people are like, how could you? I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't know people gangbanged over condiments and like toppings.
They do, for
like,
sure.
I didn't mean to offend you, lady, right? So this right here is my clipper collection. Now, I'm extra, so once again, all of my clippers are customized. I have different faces and bodies on them, but if you know me and follow me already, then you'll know that I am an all-wall person. I love wall clippers. They are my preference. However, I am not biased. I've used all clippers. I have a great friendship with Babyliss. I have a great friendship with Andis. I have a great friendship with Oscar. My preference is just wall. They are my personal ones. So with that being said, these all three right here are Magic Clip cordless. Well, not all three. This one, and this one is the Magic Clip cordless. I love these clippers, and I will just dive right into why. They are 10 ounces. 10 ounces. So legitimately, when you're using them, you don't even feel like you're holding a clipper. It's like holding like the smallest slice of pineapple pizza. And then you have the grooves on the back to let you know where to hold it. So let me lay it flat. The grooves on the back to let you know where the fingers go. So legitimately, when you're looking at it, the finger grooves go up. It lets you know just 3 fingers go right there. So that's how you hold it. And then also you have what is called the stagger tooth blade. So let me get in close so y'all can see it. Stagger tooth blade. Let me get my camera angle right.
There you go.
And that is a blade that has one small. Let me see if y'all can see it up close. Let me get myself right. If not, I'm sorry about the blur, but what it does, if you look it up online, a stagger tooth blade, you have one small tooth, one long tooth, one short tooth, one long tooth. And what that does is it texturizes within your fade. So while you're fading, it's texturizing even more and blending even more. So it's like adding a thinning shear on to a clipper blade, which is genius.
That's cool.
And they have a 90-minute runtime, right? So it's like you got something that's like, so like imagine if you get into a fight and like this little midget version of you just comes up and starts kicking the person. That's what that blade is.
That's super.
You got backup without even knowing it. And then you have this one right here is the Wall Cordless Senior. I just have it customized with a new case, and it is basically so the Wall Cordless Senior and the Wall Magic Clip Cordless are essentially the same clipper, except the Wall Senior has a little bit more power and it has a metal backing, so it's heavier. They also have a 90-minute plus runtime. This right here is a Wall Cordless Designer that I converted into a Wall balding clipper. So what that means is, if you look closely, and let me make sure y'all can see it up close, you have 2 different blades. So let me go ahead and get that right. So this one right here this one over here is the regular blade. This is the balding blade. The balding blade is a 6-point blade, and it has really small teeth. Let me get that rocked. It has really small teeth like Puff Daddy. Like I know a lot of people don't pay attention, but Puff Daddy has really small teeth.
They will now.
He has like 60 teeth, and nobody says anything about it. But like this one right here is really good for cutting close. This one right here is good for bald fading. This one right here is good for balding out. This is going to help you achieve close to scalp cuts. This one right here is going to be used to set your guidelines, baselines, and just bald it out. I also have these all on my Instagram page in a section marked clippers and tools, and it will show you each one in there.
Oh, cool.
In the highlight section.
So Tiffany's got a question. How do you get them customized?
All right, so great question. I happen to buy a couple of these skins from show vendors. This one right here, I got off of a page on Instagram. Actually, anybody who's wanting to know about these, I will go online after this class sometime today and put these in my stories and refer just a couple of different pages and sites and places you can get these from. So y'all can do it, and I don't have to
that's good.
try to get too much right now. But I will make sure y'all know where to get these cases. And they might not have these specifically anymore because, things are just limited and all that, but they have plenty more where these came from.
Yeah.
This is the Wall 1919. So really quick, before we dive into the haircut, because this is the last thing, I want to show something really cool. So this right here, a lot of people wonder why barbers have so many clippers, right? Let me go ahead and line these up. So these right here are two different blades. One is a taper blade and one is a flat blade. I'm going to turn it to the side so most people can see the difference. All right, so with the taper blade, which is the one in the back, the silver one, you have a blade that is thick. It goes up slightly and then it curves inward, right? I'm going to show you a little bit more detail what that means. So let's take a comb, any comb. Let me get this comb. So we're going to take this comb right here, right? If you take the taper blade and look at that, in between that taper blade, you have, and this is me laying the blade flat against the clipper, right? So you should see that that blade has a gap between the clipper blade and the comb, right?
Yeah.
A gap right in between. That right there is to help a person achieve a taper only and not a close to skin fade, because it's already aimed away from the scalp more. So whenever you're doing your little cuts to get a taper motion, it's already aimed away from the scalp.
Aha.
So it helps you not to get too close. You would literally have to tilt it like this to get close to the scalp versus doing regular cutting motions. You would not. Let me make sure I get over here so y'all can see it. All right, I'm getting used to this reverse camera thing, so everybody bear with me. All right, so that right there is a taper blade, right? Taper, you have a gap between the blade and the clipper. When you have a flat blade, flat blades are made for close to scalp cutting, so watch this. This is a flat blade. Look at it. Let me get out of the way. This is a flat blade. It is legitimately laid. Let me turn this so you can see it. It is laid completely up against the scalp. So when you're cutting, it will get you as close as possible to skin to achieve that skin tight cut versus that taper blade that leaves the gap in between. So those are the two most dramatic differences in the blades in the barbering industry. Aside from that, you have blades that are made for like the fat fade blades. You have the balding blades. You have all kinds of blades. But majority of the time, we use between a taper blade and a flat blade. And now, without further ado, I'm going to turn the camera on my handsome model.
He's been waiting patiently.
He is. He's so, and I'm pretty sure he's tired because he works really hard. But I was like, I call him up out of nowhere. And I'm literally like, hey, you want to be a model? He's like, sure, why not? These are the exact kind of friends you need when you go party because they're not going to question much. Make note of that. And I am a great friend to have when it comes to partying, or I'm what you call a green stop sign friend. So I'm the kind of friend that doesn't want you to get in trouble, but I also want to see what happens if you did do something stupid. So I'm like, hey, he's like, hey, man, she's dating that new guy. I'm like, don't go over there. Y'all might get into a fight. But you know what? She does have your favorite hoodie.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and show y'all this cut. It's going to be really, really quick. So I want to kind of get the boring parts out of the way. Let me know if there's too much light on him. I will adjust my camera as fitting. I really wish I would have had my camera turned around, but if this is good lighting for y'all, it's good lighting for me.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, I think. So
all right.
We're good.
So yep. I'm gonna this cut's gonna be really, really simple. But I think the cool thing about it is the technique that I do is called the 1-2-3 technique, which is my fade technique. And I'm gonna break it down before we start what that technique is, and hopefully it will make a lot of sense before I even begin to cut, and you will get to see how effective it's gonna be today. So this is the simplicity of my technique, right? I'm going to get on here. I'm going to break it down, and then we're going to dive into the cut. So if everybody's ready for that, give us some yeses and please and pineapple pizzas are awesome in the comments.
There you go.
Right? So this right here is my technique, and it's very, very simple. Let's just say, let me use another comb because that one's bright. So let's just say that we have this right here, right? We have a comb, right? So we're going to put this comb in front. And is my comb showing? All right. So look, we have the comb, right? We have the clipper. So this right here is my 1-2-3 technique. Everybody knows that when you have a clipper, you have two types of clippers, ones that don't have a taper adjustment lever and ones that do. All right. So this one right here has a taper adjustment lever, and it goes from all the way closed to all the way open. Hopefully that's showing good. Is that showing good, Matt?
Yeah, it looks good.
All right. So this is all the way closed, all the way open. What happens when you open it and close it all the way? When you have it closed all the way, this stationary blade right here and the top blade, movable blade, are aligned pretty good. Let me get over here so y'all can see that. So they are aligned pretty good, right? And when you open it all the way, what happens is this movable blade goes up. So depending on the clipper you have and which one you're using, it goes from, let's just say, a 0 to a half, right? So, and right there, that doesn't really make too much of a difference in the technique that I'm going to do with it. So just the understanding of what this does more so. If you open it all the way, you go from there. So a lot of people don't think to use it at intervals like 1, 2, 3. This is how this technique works. Very simple. When I have it all the way closed, let's just say the hair is left that long. right? When I open it halfway, the hair is then left that long when I cut. And then when I open it all the way, the hair is going to be left that long when I cut. Now, of course, this is not to scale. Just giving a good example of whenever it's all the way closed, bam. When it's open halfway, bam. When it's open all the way, right there. So I call it 1, 2, 3. And basically what happens is this. If I were to go in and have it all the way at position number 1, and I were to cut from right here to right here, then that hair will be left a certain length, right? Like that. Once I open it halfway and cut slightly higher, the hair above that will be left longer. The hair below it will not be touched because I just left that section and I extended my blade. So I cannot cut what was previously cut. And then if I open it all the way and cut slightly higher, then that hair above that will be left longer, and both spaces that I just cut previously will not be touched because they are lower than the blade will cut, right? So when that happens, all you get is this. The hair will graduate out on its own and you'll have an instant fade, right? And it's very, very simple. So essentially this is what's happening. When you're cutting, let me get over here behind the camera again. When you're cutting, it's all the way closed, right? So imagine this. As you go up, right? So the hair literally will fade on its own. And what we're here to do basically is make the tools work for us and not work for the tools, right? Whenever you blow dry hair, you don't go behind the blow dryer like this. The blow dryer is made to blow dry the hair. You just have to guide it. When you have a flat iron going through the hair, you don't put a lighter behind it to heat the hair up. The flat iron is made to do that. These clippers are made to cut the hair for you. You just need to guide them. And with that being said, I'm going to show you the technique now in play. Also, one more thing. For this technique to work, you have to do what I call the XY axis. And very simply, that is this. When I say XY, a lot of people end up chasing a weight line all day because they use their arm. They're using their arm and they're going up like this with their arm. You don't do that when you're cutting hair. You want to work with wrist and finger motion. So this right here, you have wrist movement, you have finger motions, rocking, finger, wrist. Look at the flick of the wrist. A rapper actually made this song about this. I thought he was talking about making illegal substances. Turns out he was talking about cutting hair. Look at the flick of the wrist. I had no idea. Now I got to go back and study Biggie's greatest hits. All right. So this right here, you want to take it and let me drop my camera down a little bit more so everybody can see. I want y'all to all have I want y'all to have a really good view of this hair. And y'all let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Tell me, please, if I'm boring you, I will send you a present because I like bribing people.
Just so you know, the chat is going nuts with pineapple pizzas and loving everything that you're doing. So
listen, thank you so much. And ladies, I'm not a really clingy guy, but if you like pineapple pizza, I will marry you. So there's that. I don't have really many requirements. I'm kind of easy.
They
just
also
tell me to come on the way.
They also want to know if your model's single. I just figured I would.
Hey, listen, that is a good question. And I love putting people on the spot. I love this. He's so red right now. Red is always a sign of it's complicated. Red means it's complicated. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but red skin means it's complicated.
Love it.
All right, so this is the cool thing about this. We're going to go in now, and people in the comment section, I don't know if y'all knew this. I'm single. Like we could ride around in the daytime in my car together, single. All right. Okay, so this is a cool thing. For a lot of people who don't know clipper terminology, really, really easy. You can go in there and break down the haircuts like this. 1 finger above the ear is a low fade. 2 fingers above the ear, mid fade. 3 fingers above the ear is a high fade. This is very, very simple and very, very accurate. You can also determine by where this temporal area is. Let me turn them a little bit. Where this temporal area is, if you take and go from right here below the temporal area to right here, like where the occipital is, you're in your low fade area. If you go to where this curve and this corner meet, then you're at the mid fade area. In between this corner and this corner is your high fade area. A high fade is not to be confused with a high and tight. A high and tight is that army cut in the cop that gives you a ticket every time you get pulled over. So you don't want to confuse those two. A high and tight literally goes up to where the bridle ridge stops, and it's almost no transition in between the top and the side. So does that make sense for everybody?
Sounds good.
All right, so let me go ahead and lift this up a little bit more. I think I dropped it a little bit too low, but we're back in business and we are about to start this phase. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how easy this is to achieve a bald fade. Now, we are 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes in, so we have more than enough time. However, I'm not going to take advantage of that and try to make it last too long for anybody. I want y'all to learn this, learn it fast, be able to execute it on your clients. More clients equals more money. I love what I do, but you can't pay a power bill with a hug. So with that being said, we want to make as much money as possible. And trust me, I've tried to pay a power bill with a hug, and they call it soliciting, whatever that is. Everybody's so sensitive now. All right, so, and let me get them. Is that good, Matt?
Yeah, that's good. And I keep kind of like zooming in if I need to or whatever. I can move your camera a bit. So
all right, and let me know if I'm need to take them up or down or anything like that with the camera.
All right.
So everybody, this is going to be the cool, easy part. And also, we have 30 minutes, so I'm going to throw a nice little design in the bottom because we're going to cut it away anyway with this bald fade. So I'll give it like a little part on how to make a definitive line when it comes to doing a design or hair tattoo. Let me go ahead in here and get them saturated. Saturated. I love that word. Don't know why. It's like you feel so much more sophisticated when you say stuff like saturated. Like I went to the lake today, got saturated. It was pretty cool. Like who says that? Nobody. I say that. That's who. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep our top. Usually you would take the top with one of these type of cuts. People ask, in what order did you do these? Usually you would go in and you would take, you can do it, of course, by your own personal call. But I recommend taking the top, doing your section, whether it's a horseshoe section or like just depending on the cuts. Because sometimes, like if you were doing a French crop, you would take it and you would section all the top up, right? You would get all the hair that's natural fall on the sides down there. Usually with this length, this will be longer, and you will be able to have like a triangle section right here on the top, triangle section, and then you'd have another triangle section right here, and in the front you'd have one for that bang French area right there. But you would over direct these two triangles that come from right here to the front over to match this length, and that way you'd have that texture that connects to the top. So again, parting the hair, of course, is going to be according to the hairstyle, but right here for this particular cut, we're just parting the top out of the way, and we're leaving the sides. Everybody, if you're with me, say yo. I know you can't say it out loud, but in the comment section. And we're going. Another tip that I want to go ahead and point out whenever you're doing these type of haircuts. When you set your guidelines, so watch this. This is that scary moment to a lot of people. Right here. This is that scary moment. This right here is the scariest thing ever to a lot of people. Making that dramatic weight line. Because a lot of people say, and a lot of educators will tell you, and I'm not going to tell you they're wrong, but I'm going to tell you they're wrong. From this standpoint. So first of all, right off the bat, I never say that any educator is wrong. I say that they teach a longer or shorter way, and easier or harder way. So nobody's wrong if they achieve the desired end goal. That will have you working harder or easier. The goal is to work smarter, not harder. But how about let's work smarter and harder, right? So with that being said, in my opinion, that weight line is the easiest thing to get rid of. Pay attention at the very end, and I will show you why. Now, two things about this. You just saw me use what I call the front of the blade to put that weight line in. Whenever you hear me reference the front of the blade, you're going to hear me. That means this side. When I say the back side of the blade, it's turned over, and I'm using this side. So front, back. Now, I made it with the front on here. I'm going to also do it a normal way, right? I'm also just going to go in here like this and do it this way. I'm going to show you the two differences at the end of this haircut. But right now, we're going to focus on the fade technique. Is everybody still with us? Aye, aye, Captain. I obviously love SpongeBob. Nobody lose me because of that. I love SpongeBob. All right. And also, periodically, I may tell a corny dad joke, but it's all in good fun and favor, right?
You know what I've decided already?
What's that?
Is that I'm not funny enough.
Not funny enough?
No.
Oh, you are.
I absolutely.
You are hilarious.
All these people in the chat, like I see them all the time in the chat, and they're dying, and I don't create that. Somebody said that they had to leave the TV. They were watching on Apple TV. Had to leave the TV to come to the chat.
Well, listen.
So they're jumping on. So it's fun.
Well, all of my dad jokes, I'm not going to lie, they're kind of good. Like, are you a muffler? Because you woke up exhausted. Please be my friend. All right? Like, right. Usually dad jokes are horrible, but when I tell them they're the best, they're the best. They are the best. It's like, hey, what did the big person say to the pig? The ham. Please don't delete me. All right, so let's get it going, right?
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh, man, it's so good. That is just so good. So here we did. We have our guideline set right now. A piece of advice for anybody out there who may struggle with taking their fade too high. Whenever you're going to do a certain kind of fade, always start one zone away. So let's just say if you're going to do a high fade, right, you want to start your guideline where the mid fade area is at minimum. That way, this right here can be your fade zone, right? A lot of people will do a high fade and they will set their baseline where the high fade area is. Only problem is with that hair below gone now, where's your fade going to have to be? Above that, because there is no hair below the fade. Whenever you're doing a fade, you want to leave an area to be your fade zone. So if you're going to have a mid fade, then the fade needs to be in the mid area. But if you set your baseline up at a high fade, if you set it at the mid fade starting point, then the fade can only be above it. So if you're going to do a high fade, do it at the mid fade area. If you're going to do a mid fade, do it at the low fade area. If you're going to do a low fade, then you do it around this perimeter. A lot of times, and that will help you keep your fade zone adequate. And also, don't get it wrong. You can do, I can set my guideline here at the fade, low fade area and still do a high fade. It will just make the fade blurrier as opposed to making it tighter. Does that make sense to everybody?
Got it.
All right. And also, a lot of people struggle with hearing this new barber terminology, a drop fade. A drop fade is any fade that drops in elevation. So the classic fade you would go in, or classic fade, you would have a guideline that just goes all the way around, perpendicular or horizontal adjacent to the where you started. So if I go right here, from front to back, it'll just go all around at the exact same place. A drop fade will be any fade that drops in elevation. So if I started my guideline up here, but I took it down here, that's a drop fade. Drop fades come in handy because you get to fit and contour to the specific head shape of the person and not just doing an all-around cut. So let's just say if you have a person, he has a very good head shape, it's flat in the back. So it's going to be a really good blend, good for a nice box-shaped look. But if you have a client who, let's just say, has a head like Caillou, you know who Caillou is, right? The cartoon? Like everybody knows Caillou. It's like a nice little lumpkin. If you have a person like that and then you just do this, if they have a protruding occipital bone that just goes and curves out, and you do a fade like this, a normal basic fade, then you're going to have all that occipital bone exposed and you're going to have this big knot just glaring through the haircut. But if you do a drop fade, if you take it in, like you say, start at the temporal area and then drop it down underneath the occipital bone and then fade, what you're going to do is you're going to take the focus away from that knot that's on the back of the head, that occipital that protrudes, and make them focus on the hair and the blend as opposed to this big old knot, the Caillou. So it comes in handy to know that using like angular drop or a direct V will also help you like blend in head shapes and change head shapes for the most part, because you can make somebody with a round head have like a Boomhauer or a Quagmire head, giggity, giggity, giggity. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dive right in. Everybody, y'all still with me?
They're with you.
Let's keep it simple, right? So right here, at this moment, you're going to have a couple options. Will you go in and use the old school barbers at this point will take some shaving cream, a straight razor, and just bald all of this out right there. That is the old way. Scoring barbers, two of my favorite barbers in the world, Burtis and Lean, the Butcher, Bloody Butcher, and Bearded Bastard are their names. They use a lot of the old antique shaving methods, shaving cream, razor, the whole process. If you are a cosmetologist, you cannot use a straight razor. So at this point, what will come in handy will be a foil shaver, right? This is the Wall Finale. Each brand makes their own. You have Wall that makes a Wall Finale. You have Babyliss. They make the FX 01 and 02 metal. And then you have Andis, who has the Pro Foil Lithium Ion Shaver, the gray and red. So again, personal preference. Use the one that works for you. I'm not here to sell you any products. However, make sure you get that carbon comb. You just dropped the link.
That's right. Shop FSC.
Shop FSC. Shameless plug. Like, I'm never here to advertise anything, right? It's like, hey, I can't believe this old lady walked up to me and tried to solicit me for my body. She said she would give me some disinfectant if I advertise it. I was like, get out of here. And by the way, I should blow you away, just like this Lysol does to 50% of germs on any surface, right? It's so horrible. Not advertising anything. So again, we go in here. We have our client, our guideline set. And this is where it's going to get really easy, everybody. So this is the part where all the fun happens. Oh, sorry. My cape just pulled the whole camera. So let me move that. All right. And we are ready. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dust this surface off. At this point of the cut, I'm going to go in and I'm going to use my foil shaver. This shaver, and let me drop down. This shaver is only meant to cut stubble. So it will not cut this length up here unless you just push into it, which you wouldn't want to do. But right here, notice whenever I cut, you're going to hear the hair being cut. And once the hair is gone, you will not hear the same sound. So watch. Hear that? The hair is gone now. So watch. Hair. right? Hair. Look at that. No hair. So legitimately, you'll be able to tell once all the hair is gone. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and bald all of that out. Now, you can also do this at the very end of the haircut. It is personal preference. I do it at this portion and at the end. A tip for anybody out there who has used a full shaver, and I've had some people say that I struggle with a new weight line, because using this full shaver, you can create a new weight line. Very, very simple way to control that. I wish I could zoom in, but I can't. So I'm going to show you guys when you use this and you press down firmly. So right now I have a firm grip, right? So basically at this point, this is a normal shear. It's going to cut 100% of the hair. Whenever you're pressing down firmly, not hard, just firmly. You don't want to give them a divorce haircut, right? A divorce haircut is like when you go, you can keep the house and the dog and the kids. You don't have to bear down really hard. These are made to cut. You don't have to kill them. A lot of people are like, I was cutting my boyfriend or girlfriend's hair and his neck was bleeding. I was like, because you were trying to eviscerate the predator, lady. All right? You don't have to bear down too hard. So with that being said, if you hold it firmly, it will give you a nice little weight line at the point where you stop at. However, if you just loosen your grip up on this full shaver like this, so basically I'm just holding it real flimsy, like right now I'm just holding it real flimsy. This is like whenever you're teasing your dog with a treat. Hey, good boy, good boy, good boy. Go nag mama, right? You hold it loosely and just tap at that weight line, and it will soften and breaking it up. So at that point, it becomes a texturizing shear. Just flopping it around like an elephant, just flopping it around. Right there, you'll just break up that line. So now we have a nice zero balded base. This is like completely bald right here. And I'm going to show you at the very end of this cut, this technique and how it works and how good it actually works. So now let's go ahead directly into the fading. If the client comes in and says, I wanted to go from a ball fade into like a 3 on top, right? Or a 2 on top. You already know that 2 is going to be your highest guard. Go ahead and cut all this down to a 2. So I'm going to get my clipper now at this point, and I'm going to use a number 2 guard. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to use a 2 on his. I'm going to use a 1.5. So this right here is a 1.5 guard. I don't know if I can see it without it being a glare from the light, but look, this is the 1.5 guard. I'm extra, so it's clear. And I'm going to go in here again. Now watch, we're going to use that 1, 2, 3 interval, and watch this fade just come to life. So this is what happens. As long as you follow what I call the XY axis. Again, I stopped earlier and didn't explain this, but when you're going up, you're going to chase a weight line. What you want to do is make sure you're using that wrist and finger motion. So using this right here, it scoops in, curves up, and goes away automatically. So if you have your comb, your skin, your client's head shape, and you do this with the finger motion, it's going to scoop in, curve up, and go away. So look at that. Scoop in. Let me back up. Right here. Scoop in, curve up, go away. Check that out. It's going to scoop in, curve up, and go away. So you automatically get graduation every time you make a pass with your clippers. If you're using your hand and going up, you will chase a weight line and create a new weight line. If I told you to take this right here and swing it 10 times fast right here, or let me go this way. If I told you to swing it 10 times fast and stop it at the exact same place, you could not, because we're not robots. However, if you use your wrist and your fingers, you have a limited range of motion. It goes from here to here, here to here. You only have a limited range of motion. You cannot leave it. Now, with that being said, if you just use this arm to go left and right and the wrist to go up and down, you will always get an exact range of cut. Look at that. So you see that you get an exact range instead of going like this and playing a guessing game, right? So now let's go ahead and dive into this technique. And let me make sure. And Matt, you tell me how my camera is looking.
Yeah, looks good.
All right, let me right there.
That's perfect right there, actually.
Perfect right there?
Yeah.
All right, so everybody check this out. This is how we're going to play this. We're going to go and make our first pass with the guard level all the way closed. Now, what you're going to see me doing is fading in reverse, right? A lot of people ask, do you fade up or down? Fading in reverse, I feel like it's easier for people who aren't second nature at it, because it's easier to fade into a fade than it is to fade into a massive amount of hair. So work your way down, make it easier for yourself, get a better line of visual, and boom, bam, bam, you're good, right? So I'm going to go here and watch. Already, we're going to stay. So with this one right here, we're going to follow this line. You always want to follow the baseline you set. So I'm going to keep it on this line. If you set that guideline at a curve, then you have to follow it at a curve while you cut. I set it right here, so I'm going to follow it right there. And position number 1, all the way closed, we're going to cut from here to here, all right? When we open it halfway, we're going to cut from here to here. When we open it all the way, we're going to cut from here to here. So again, as you go up, it will make a perfect level of graduation. Now watch. Position number 1. I'm going to go normal speed, and then I'm going to slow it down and explain it. So look at that. You see that right there? So I'm going to go up. Now, this is the way you can help yourself become second nature at it. So watch this. Up, diagonal drop, up, diagonal drop, up, diagonal drop. Eventually, that will make you just move normal speed, right? So from front to back, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So look at that. It already has a nice little bit of a blend you can see, right? This weight line is not an extremely heavy line of demarcation. Now, if you were going like this, using your directly, you will stop it abruptly. You see that weight right there?
Yeah.
That's from not having that tape, that scoop in motion. So it's going to be important to make this second nature. Take 5 minutes a day and just go like this, just here. Work the wrist, work the fingers. Look at the wrist. There goes that wrapper again. All right. So we got it all the way closed, position number 1. Now we're going to go halfway open and do it again, repeat. So I call this tight writing. You know how you type something up and then it just shoots back. Tight, shoots back. That is not the sound a typewriter makes, but I'm being lazy right now and I'm not really mimicking the exact sounds.
That was
all the way
pretty good.
Closed.
Hey, question.
All right, thank you.
Question.
Yes.
Elizna, I believe, is the name. How do you deal with clients that have skull bumps, dips, which leave darker spots?
Great. So me and my clients always joke the hot dog heads, right? So what happens is this. Look at this. So this right here, I'm going to break it down really simple. Right here, you see if I scrunch his skin up, right, or he has a really good head, so it's hard to make his do that. But right here, look at this. So I want y'all to focus on this part right here, right, Matt?
Yep.
When I press it in, watch this part get darker. You see it?
Yep.
The reason this happens is because you have 2 pieces of hair, and let me go ahead and use a comb for a good example. You have 2 pieces of hair, right, on both sides. That you have 2 pieces of hair that do this right here. When those dips happen, the hair does this. It locks, right?
Yeah.
It crosses itself, so it gets darker. So what I do is, let's just say I'm using a number 1 right here on all this hair, and that spot is darker. That is because the hair is crossing itself. So what I do is I'll spread it out, and I'll drop down 1 guard size lower, and I'll just cut the hair where that groove is, because what's going to happen is once I let it back go, it's going to squeeze together again and appear darker. So if the hair's a little bit lower where the groove is, it will balance out and appear to match the hair around it.
Like it. Cool.
Right? So really simple.
Yep.
All right, let's back to the technique. So watch how easy this fade comes alive, everybody. We are now 45 minutes in. Great time. I'm loving it. Watch this. So we did position number 1, right? And we went from left to right. If you notice, my arm is locked in. I am not leaving. Let me turn him slightly this way. All right, right there. And let me, is that good, Matt?
Yeah,
Can
that
you
looks
see
good.
still?
Yep.
All right. So again, note that I went from, and this is position number 1. I stayed right here. My arm did not leave. My wrist is doing all the work, right? No finger flicks. So look, finger flicks, wrist, none of this, right? 1. So this is X. This is Y. I just left, right, up, down. That's position number 1. No hair is being cut, right? Let's go slightly higher. Position number 2. Slightly higher right here where this line is. And look, watch it just start to blend out. You see that? Blending right out. And then position number 3, slightly higher. Right? Now look at that. Already good and faded. That's just from 1 guard at 3 different levels. So now we're going to go in. We're going to pop on our next lowest guard. So that was a 1.5. This is the number 1 guard, right? So we're going to go again and repeat steps 1, 2, 3. Then we go again with rap music and R&B music. Brian McKnight. 1 is like a dream come true, right? You start back at 1. 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to work on this line. I make a fade very simple. Instead of making all those weight lines and those images with like razor, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, low gas mileage, oil change, your mama's calling, that's just too much. I make 1 weight line. It in turn leaves me 2 weight lines. The upper weight line, the lower weight line. Get rid of the top, get rid of the bottom, your fade is done. So now we're going to attack this lower weight line all the way closed, and watch this. This is the number 1 guard from front to back. Right? That's position number 1. Open it halfway, slightly higher. Right? That line above there just starts going away. All the way open, position number 3, slightly higher. So even if you lift your arm up, you lock it in and you just go left to right. So like watch this. 1 right here, Position number 2, slightly higher. Position number 3, slightly higher. Now,
I do have to say that the fact is like that you start with the longer. No, you start with the shorter, right?
Yeah, no. So this one I just started with the longest guard. So 1.5.
Yep.
Number 1 guard, 0.5 guard, and then no guard, and this fade is going to be done.
But then when you do the clicks, so when you're doing the click through the 1, 2, 3.
Oh yes.
That's
the other thing. Yeah. So this is the cool thing about it. And I'm glad you brought that point up, Matt. A lot of people don't think about this right here, right? So let's just say you have a number 1 guard and the number 2 guard, right? If most people just put on a number 1 guard or 2 guard and they're all the way open, all the way closed, and when you do that, you have steps, right? You go up, step. So how do we bridge that gap between the number 1 guard and the number 2 guard? If you put that number 1 guard and open it, if you put the number 1 guard and close it, right? That is the number 1. If you go like this, now it's 1.3. Like this, 1.6. Like this, 1.9. And now you have bridged the gap in between the number 1 and 2 guard. So instead of having a staircase, you have a ramp. It smoothly goes up.
I think what I always do though is I'll go like if I was going to go into this line right here where you were just with the 1 guard, right?
Yes.
I would go 1 guard all the way open, then I would go mid, and then I would go all the way closed, right? And you you did it the opposite.
And it makes it so easy because, again, it's easier to fade into a fade than it is to fade into a lot of hair.
Yeah, I like
that. So once you reduce that bulk, it gets like super easy.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Now we're going to go drop down to our next guard. This one is a half guard, right? So Wall has the thing that makes Wall special a lot. So at this point, I call this my Green Ranger. You know, the green clipper with the gold top. Green Ranger, you got to be a nerd to catch that.
Yeah, like.
But Wall has the half guard and the 1.5 guard. Those are our magic guards. Now watch this. At this point, I'm going to use my brush. A lot of barbers, we love our brushes. State Board has all kind of feelings about brushes and stuff, but we disinfect them the same. We have brush cleaner. We have disinfectant and all that. This right here is softer, so you don't feel like you're giving your client just this raking motion with a comb. So that's why a lot of barbers use that. And plus, it gets rid of debris really good. So now with that number 1 half guard, watch. We're going to do the same exact thing. Start back at 1. I love this technique because it's really easy. 1, 2, 3. Watch this weight line. Right here, this is where our original guideline is. Watch it start phasing out immediately, right? Position number 1, halfway open, slightly higher, right? And I literally don't even have to like look. I'm just following the technique, and it will not let me down. The clipper is doing the work. I'm just moving it. Position number 2, all the way open. Position number 3, how's that fade looking?
It's looking good.
Right, so now we're going to do this right here. We're going to drop down to no guard, and we're going to get rid of this line almost for good. Now watch. All the way closed. 1. Look at that. Position number 2, slightly higher. Position number 3, all the way. And look at that fade. How's that fade looking?
That's looking good.
Right? So here's the cool part. This part right here, this little weight line that everybody says is hard to get out. Now, again, at this point, you want to go back and do what's called what would translate to cross-checking and barbering. Let me turn them because I don't know if I have a little bit of a blur from all the lights. Y'all tell me if it's too bright or y'all can't see or can see. I will try to fix that. All right, can y'all see that? I'm going to drop down and angle my camera up a little bit more. That way, and I'm sorry, everybody, I had my camera flipped around. Other side has 4K. So I'm going to, hopefully everybody can see this. How is that?
That looks good. Yeah, it looks good.
All right. Like I said, so again, at this point, you'd have a little bit of a residual. And let me move my light so it's not too much on. Hold up. I don't know if that made it worse or better, but let me just get a little bit
Turn it down just a little bit more.
All right, hold on. Let me.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that good?
That looks good, yeah. You can
All right, so right there. So look, at this point, right here, if I get this close, and I'm going to try to get it a little bit closer, look at that. Legitimately, that weight line is going to be so minute and so easy to get rid of. You feel confident, right? You feel a lot more confident trying to get this out versus trying to get it out at the beginning. Save that weight line for last. Now, this is how you get it out. In barbering, you can't go back and cross shape like you can with length on top, right? And I would go and cover this length on the top, but we're not essentially going to cut much of it down. I'm just going to nip some pieces at the end and style it, so I don't want to focus too much on that. But this technique right here, getting rid of this, you cannot go back and make diagonal partings and cross-check because that's not enough length. What you can do is make multiple passes. So, again, tell me if I need to adjust that light a little bit more because I don't want it to be too dark so y'all can't see it.
Yeah, I think it's good.
All right.
You can see.
But right here, you just go back and do exactly what you did again. Now we're going to go in reverse. So remember, we went from a 1.5 to a 1 to a 0.5 guard to no guard. I'm just going to go back and do that in order again from 0.5 to 1 to 1.5 and just basically just make multiple passes and check it. Make sure it's smooth. No client will ever complain about having too good of a fade. Like, dude, I can't believe you did that to me last week. My haircut looks so good. I got so many numbers. I only got 16 gigabytes. Where am I going to store them all? Right? So all the way closed. 1, 2, 3. Jump up to our next highest guard, which is the 1. Now, once I get done with this, I'm going to show everybody how to get rid of that weight line, and then I'm going to show you this fade in real time and show you how easy it is. And then I'm going to do a little bit of design, and we will be finished. So is everybody okay with that? 1.
Sounds good.
2. The thing is, whenever you use the wrist and fingers, it will take your arm where it needs to go. So if you see my arm going up any, it's because of the wrist flick. Watch. When I flick my wrist, my arm moves slightly, but that's where my wrist needs my arm to go. I'm giving my wrist and fingers full control. Right? 2, 3.
Hey, let us know where that brush came from. I think Kristen was asking.
So you can get this brush from Cosmic Prop. It's literally only $3. It is so efficient. I feel like an architect who's like uncovering the newest dinosaur bone. Like, hey, this is the Mega T-Rex. Something else that you would have been scared of if you was a caveman. If you would have pooped outside, he would have ate you. I like to uncover like my stuff and just literally, like, when they're digging up bones, they use this nice little brush to like make sure they don't disturb the actual artifact. So I'm using this to like cut away and comb. $3 at Cosmic Prop, legitimately.
Okay.
Right? And so all the way open. And look at that, right? So we have this nice fade. Now, again, attacking this weight line, really, really easy, right? Right here. You're going to go in there and you're just going to make these. This is where you see barbers like detailing their cuts. Right in here, I'm just using really tight finger flicks. Bam. Because you really want to make that nice in transition. I'm extra and I want my client to get that really good level, right? So all that's done. With that being said, you have to take your weight line out with exactly what you put it in with. So if you use a trimmer to set your guideline, use a trimmer to take it out. Now, earlier, remember, I said I use the front of my clipper to put that guideline in. When you do that, that's going to cut 100% of the hair. It's giving that cutting blade all of the action. When you turn it over, this acts as a makeshift ruler. So people forget that small blade right there, the stationary blade, is so paper thin up here that it acts as its own guard. So instead of getting 100% of the haircut, you get like 95%. So right here at that guideline, just tap at it. That weight line, look at that. Break it up. Break it up. And bam, you have a fade, good skin fade from beginning to end.
That looks good.
And so the reason I teach a bald fade is because if you can do a bald fade, you can do any fade. And I'm going to back up. You can literally see it blur from where you are. Right? You see that nice fade. You just see it. So if you're in the grocery store line, you're going to be like, hey, good looking. What you cooking? He's going to be like, tacos. Duh.
Wait, Laura's got a question. She says,
yes.
I don't know how high to fade above the guideline. So like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Laura, very good question. Laura says she does not know how to fade above the guideline. Completely personal preference. So if the client wants a tight fade, that's the consultation. Do you want a tight fade? Do you want a blurry fade? If they want a tighter fade, you're going to focus more on finger flicks because this will keep it in place. If you want a wider fade, you're going to use the wrist because look at that. I get a wider range of cut, right? So if you go in there and I'm using like this, 1, 2, 3, it'll be a tighter fade. If I go 1, 2, 3, it'll be a blurrier fade. And again, Laura, there's no right or wrong. It's just a personal preference if the clients want a tight fade versus a blurry fade. Now watch this thing in real time. I want to show you how quick this fade technique works in real time once you make it second nature. All right. Let me get right there and see. Okay. Hold on. This reverse thing is really getting me.
I know.
Oh no, not you. Let me see. Turn them that way. Perfect. Is that good?
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, so watch this in real time. If he came in, I'm going to do exactly what I did on the other side. Look, set my guide right. Baseline. Hey, man, what's going on? You still dating that same girl? Guy? Heck no. Told you she was crazy. Her name's Tiffany. Right? So, look, we got that. Bam. That's our guideline set. Now I'm going to go in. 1.5 guard. Look. 1. Bam. Halfway open, slightly higher. Blend that top line out. Look at that. 2. Bam. 3. Right? Bam. Look at that consistency, though. When you have this lock and wrist, look at that consistency. Your line will literally follow and stay in the same place. Drop down to my next lowest guard. Number 1, all the way closed. Left to right. 1, 2. Listen, y'all, under a minute. Watch. Under a minute. Bam. Drop down to my next lowest guard. Hey, man, did you hear about the snowman that worked the corner? Yeah, he was a prostitute. Don't delete me. Halfway. All the way. No guard. All the way closed again. Repeat. 1, 2, 3. Look at that fade, y'all. How easy is that?
That happened quick.
How easy is that? Like, that technique will not fail you. Look down. So even when you change the light, look at that. It does not fail you. It's really easy. And remember, over here I use the Baldwin clipper. So watch the full shaver. Look at the difference between this part and that side. Like right here, it is legitimately no hair. Let me take this and get close so y'all can all see it. But look down for me. So look right here. There's legitimately no hair. You see straight skin.
Oh yeah, it's a good look at it.
And look at it right there. Turn that way. Look at that. That is all that stubble that is left behind that full shaver got. So this is how you get that true ball fade. But the technique itself makes cutting hair really, really easy. So now I'm going to throw in a little part on the side. If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. We're all okay with it. I'm a dude. He's a dude. She's a dude. Because we're all dude. If you didn't watch Good Burger, you missed out on your childhood.
That was a good show.
All right. That was a good, man. It was so good. Yeah. All right. So watch this. I'm going to do him a quick design on here because that fade technique, and we are literally at, we should be close to 12 o'clock, right?
Yep, we're getting close. You got 2 minutes.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share a quick, take a quick little line on here that I'm going to blend out for this fade. Unless he wants to keep it and he feels swaggy and he want to go out and change that it's complicated status to fully complicated status. You know what? If he goes out and gets married from this haircut, that's his fault because I think marriage is the leading cause for divorce. Don't quote me on that.
It's got to be.
It's got to be, man. Like I think it is. Personally, it's a fast track. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw a line in here, right? And hey, maybe next time if we ever come back, we can, which I hope we do because I love like just collaborating with you on anything, and especially this. We can do one focal on creating like the design, like I did with that eyeball. That eye is like one of my favorite designs.
I would love that, and so would everybody else. Everybody already said make sure he comes back on this show again. So. Oh
well, hey, listen, if you feel like that, you can mail me something. I will give you my address later. All right, so look, we're gonna go ahead and look at this. So let's just say I want to go out here and put a line, right? I want to go ahead, and a lot of people when they're doing designs, they worry about the design and the details beforehand, right? So look, let me turn them. Hopefully, I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me turn them back this way. Maybe that's
right
better.
There. We can, yeah.
All right, right there, right. So look, let's just say I'm going to go in here and make a line, a nice little line that goes and zigs, right, like down to here. So a lot of people can't. They're worried about how to make that focal at the beginning. Always when doing designs, you're going to make your outline. You want to just establish what you're going to do, save the definition for later, right? So now I use the front of this trimmer to make that line. Watch how I make it really bold, really easy. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use the back side. And look. It'll now take that little nice basic line and make it really defined. So whenever I'm doing any design like a star, a heart, does not matter. I'll make the design and then I'll go at the end of it and I'll just use the corners and angles of the blade to define it. So you can go from that to that really fast and make a simple line really definitive.
That's cool. I like that.
Right? So using the front, a lot of people will try to do this and they'll keep making it wide and all that good stuff. Right? So let's just say I want to take this right here and turn it into a circle, like one of my little spears. Now I got there, I'm going to go use my blade angles to my advantage and go, right? So now I have a full-blown circle at the edge of this hair. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to fade inside that circle It's going to turn that circle into a sphere. So that is a really, really quick, easy aspect on like how I get one of those designs like my orbs or things of that nature, right? So I'm going to turn the camera so you can see it a little bit. And I'm going to wrap it up with simple as this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And now I have that. Let me go and define it again. And then I'm going to take the camera and zoom in so y'all can see what I did with this little curved line. Because right now I know the lighting is kind of atrocious.
What trimmer is that, real quick?
This is the wall cordless detail. I meant to tell everybody this is my favorite trimmer in the world. Of course, you have the Babyliss F8 Skeleton, really good clipper. You have the Andis Pro Lithium Li Slimline Li. It's really good. My favorite, the wall cordless detailer 2020 version, not the older version. This version, it's beautiful.
Nice.
And it's powerful. Like you literally get sharp lines. So look at that right there, right? Sharp lines, sharp lines. So like now I'm going to take my camera and let everybody see this spear that we just created. By doing that little bit of blending, I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to get close. Let me turn them so we can see it. Timmy Turner. So look at that.
That's cool. I like that.
You get this circle. So it looks like a moon, like it's almost an eclipse phase. Just by putting a line, defining that line, and then doing a little bit of blending to it, you get this depth. So that is just like a quick tip
cool.
right there. So I know we got to go. It's been an hour. If anybody has any questions that they want to ask me in depth about this haircut or my personal life, long walks on the beach, pineapple pizza, I hate sunshine and rainbows. So there's that. If you have a guy that hates sunshine and rainbows, get away from him. He's a vampire. All right. So any personal questions that y'all want to ask me about these haircuts that require a longer, more in-depth answer, feel free to PM me on my Facebook page, Keon the Barber Official, on my Instagram page at Keon the Barber, KeonTheBarber. Right there, Matt with the clutch come through.
That's right.
Also,
I got you.
Get that carbon comb, y'all. Get that carbon comb. It is a beast. It will change your game. It will change your life.
Awesome.
Also, everybody, we don't have to get into it, but screw racism, screw hate, screw homophobia, and screw coleslaw.
Hey, anytime you want to have that conversation, let's do that too.
Man, let's do that. We can do that. And again, don't forget coleslaw. It needs to go.
Yeah.
Whoever invented that, stop. And whoever shops at Long John Silver's, stop that. Why are they still in business? Why? All right. I will answer all questions you have gladly. I love this industry. If you go to my Instagram page, there is a section in the highlight section called Notes. I have 5 different pamphlets that I made that break down clipper motor types, the benefits and minuses, so you can go into the store and be a professional whenever you're buying your clippers. The next time, I have one that breaks down the haircut terminology for barbering. I have one that encases my fade technique that we just did. I have another one that compares clipper, razor, and shear. Then I have one more that talks about the XY technique and point of anchor. This was a really quick, fast lesson. I want to thank Matt for having me here and allowing me his platform to share with y'all my love for pineapple pizza. Look at my shirt. Pineapples, y'all. Pineapples. Also, fun fact, if you're ever in the store and somebody has that pineapple upside down in the buggy, that means they're swingers. Never knew that.
That's a fun fact. Yeah.
Google it. It's the national call sign for couples who have extracurricular activities. That's wild, y'all.
That is.
But this fade technique, hopefully, will change your life. Put it to work. And it also doesn't just work with ball fading. It works with a 1-2 or 2 guard or a 2-2 or 4. Just try it out. It will make your life somewhat simpler, more clients, more money. Anybody and everybody who watches, you are the shiznittle bam snip snap zap. Matt, you are freaking awesome. Thank y'all for having me here.
Dude, thanks so much. I know you got to run. I know you got something else to do. So thank you. We'll definitely have you. I can't wait to have you back. I knew this was going to be fun, but this was like out of this world. You blew it away.
Man,
your talent is unreal. So thank you so much. And we'll talk soon for sure.
Oh, man. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, man. We'll see you.
All right.
All right, guys. Let me get me back up here. Here we go. Boom. So, guys, seriously, did you enjoy that? I mean, first off, Keon, I knew, I've seen him work. I knew he's talented, but just that was a performance like I've never seen before. So, Cosmoprof, first off, is very lucky to have him. And that's just awesome. So go give him a follow. Follow Keon the Barber. Obviously, that excitement doesn't end here. Go follow him, and you can see everything that he's doing with hair and everything else. So I love seeing you guys in the chat. I can tell that you guys really liked it. a lot. I took a lot of tips from that as well. That's kind of one of my favorite parts about this whole show is that having these people on that I look up to, being able to learn from them with you guys as we go. So I did see some of you guys in the chat that a couple people got bummed out because I wasn't being interactive with them or showing their question. That's not on purpose, just so you guys know. None of you. Even you, Jess. I see you. I see you. I see all of you guys, and most of the time I see your question, but sometimes I don't, and I apologize for that. So, you know, to those of you guys out there that feel like I'm not paying attention to you, I am. We see you, and I want to. Trust me, I want to. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Anyways, tomorrow, let's see. Tomorrow I'm teaching. And then Wednesday, Andrew Carruthers is coming on. And then I believe Thursday, Colin Caruso, artistic director of Paul Mitchell, is coming on. So big week planned. So tomorrow, what do you guys want to learn? Let me know in the chat. What do you want to see? I'll probably do hair cutting tomorrow. And then we'll see Wednesday what we're doing as well. Kristen, haters are going to hate. I understand that. 7 years on the internet, I understand. Can't take everything for what it is. But at the same time, you know, you don't want to see people upset either. So thank you guys so much. I mean, honestly, again, this was the best class. I think one of the best classes we've had on this channel for sure. Just a super talented guy. I was cracking up the whole time, and it just made me feel happy. So we all need to be a little happier, you know, these days. So that was super fun. All right, guys. So 2 things. Go download the FSE Now app. I'm going to play that commercial for you guys for a second so you guys can see what it's all about. That's our app. It's free. You can rewatch this class on there. You can build your profile, share your work. I'd love to see that as well. So here's the app. I'll just play it, and then I'll come back and I'll say my goodbyes, and we'll be on with our day. Here is FSE Now. Back here. And again, hope you guys enjoyed the class. Really loved having Keon on here. Can't wait to do that again with him. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. And that's it. So go download the app. Go shop if you need to buy some stuff. Shop FSE, obviously. And make sure you share the show on whatever platform you're on. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. 12 o'clock, we're live every day, Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all those channels you guys are watching. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you soon. What do we say at the end of the show? It's going to be a great day. See you guys.
It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. Let me show you the way.
Thanks, guys.
It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it.
Have a good day. Good night, everyone. I'll see you later.